Hello, welcome to Current Exposure. How is everyone doing out there? Let's get into the live stream. I know it's really nice outside. Very nice. A bit windy. This evening, we have a guest coming on, another candidate for councilman. His name is Willie Jetti. He is a dedicated community advocate, a tradesman and small business owner, committed to protecting and uplifting Newark South Ward through leadership, service, and opportunity. So let's welcome on Mr. Jetti. Hello.
Hey,
How
how you
are you,
doing?
Willie Jetti? I'm all right.
I'm all right. I'm all right. Thank you for having me as a guest on your podcast. I appreciate
Of
you
course.
and everything you do.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you as well for taking your time out to come on and give us some information about who you are and why you're running and how long you've been in Newark. And yeah, like let's jump right into it.
All right, let's get ready. All right, so my name is Willie Jetti. I was born in Elizabeth, raised in Newark from 74 until present. I
Okay.
had the opp- I had the opportunity to buy three homes, which I sold one. I now have two within the same vicinity.
Okay.
Uh, I grew up with family all around. I attended Dayton Street School. From there, I went to Arts High. From Arts High, I frequent what was that, Essex County. From Essex County to Rutgers. From Rutgers to it was a small art college that I went to,
Okay.
fine in industrial arts. So I am an art major, right? So I'm well versed in just about every art there is, from photography to
Mm-hmm.
uh, tabletop design, everything about
Oh,
art. That's what I do. I had to,
okay.
I even did a fashion illustration. You know,
Okay.
my mom is a seamstress, so I found that to be useful to her designing dresses. So I'm able to do that. Um,
Hmm. Wow.
from from there, I worked as a correction officer for 23 years. I worked for the fire department for 7 years. I was a cosmetologist, a barber, a masseuse. Um, there's
Wow.
so many.
That
I
is
did.
that what you mean by tradesman?
Mhm.
You've done a lot. Wow. And it's always nice to have people on
For
that
paralegal studies for one.
paralegal too. Oh wow.
That was for audio engineering. So I have that. I have, oh my God, so many certificates and so many genres of, just daily living because I'm
Okay.
always interested to learn. So I don't have a problem learning. I have a problem not learning.
Okay.
Uh, I've been, how do you say, an advocate in my community ever since I could remember. I started cleaning my community more than 20 years ago. I think
Okay.
more than 30 years ago. I've been out here on Dayton Street. I assist DPW on a daily. I assist the Essex County Park on a daily. Um, if anybody actually came to Weekway Park on the Dayton Street side,
Mm-hmm.
they would have seen me doing my due diligence and helping the community. So I do a wide variety of things. I think sometime most of the time I start my day out at 4:30 to 5 o'clock. Get out, clean the community, and then I engage with other things.
Mm.
So I'm strong in my community, and I stand, how they say, 10 toes down on that. Yeah. So I'm really about the community. I've had the pleasure of watching the young guys grow up, at least 2 to 3 generations, and them taking on different attributes that I have, and giving them some knowledge, and some fortitude to say, okay, I can do this. So that's my thing, to make sure that we are, still present in this future endeavor. Because right now we have a lot of development, but with that development, we're not included in that process. As I told many,
Mm-hmm.
we're
Right.
not being included in the process moving forward.
It's not
But
people focused.
yeah, I
It's
think
just about the developers making money.
well, in that regard, we're being included in the process to pay more for, what I'm saying, for less, right?
Mm-hmm.
And no
Mm-hmm.
one wants to pay more for less when we already have it, right? So that's one of the reasons that I'm running. The other thing is that, I guess everyone has that calling, and this one was mine, and I had to
Okay.
answer it. I
Okay.
had to answer it. So here I am.
So did people come up to you and say you should run? We really need you on that ballot to represent us.
Yeah, especially after a failed community benefits agreement, and I keep, I'll keep on saying that until the day I die. There was a community, a CBA, community benefits agreement, that was associated with the Lionsgate development, right? And with that development, they needed the communities to state what they wanted out of this venture. And so, being that I had a nonprofit, the DCAP, Dayton Street Community Awareness Project,
Uh-huh.
that's the name of the nonprofit organization that Dayton Street has, and which I was one of the founders. So we had that, and being that it was the only nonprofit down here, and we really didn't go out for money. We just made sure that, we kept everybody aware of what was going on in politics, what was going
Mm-hmm.
on around their house, you know the safety, the environment, just the general things. But it still made the community what it is, and we're very
Right.
tight knit. So I guess I believe they felt that, since I was always present at these meetings for the last 20 plus years, ever since, even before Corey
Mm-hmm.
Booker, I was always present at the meetings. They didn't, the community really didn't have, excuse me, the community really didn't have time to engage. So, they felt more comfortable with me engaging because I always made time, because I wanted to know what was going on and what was going to affect us. So, with that being said,
Mm-hmm.
uh, the current administration, actually Pat Council, I say his name, Pat Council, um, he, I guess we were in agreement to formulate something that the community wanted out of the CBA. And
Okay.
so from that came a 46-page document that I put together. And that document, to create that document, it took me 5 months, day and night, of,
Mm-hmm.
on my own volition, to actually put this thing together. So I used some of my talents as a paralegal, right, doing
Mm-hmm.
paralegal studies, saying, okay, well, I could put this thing together. But at
Okay.
the same, but at the same time, putting it together, um, I I believe that, this administration were, had some type of integrity, that they would not leave the South Ward or the immediate impacted area behind. Lo and behold, they basically, it was said that they weren't going to honor that CBA after it was formulated.
Who said that? The city administration at the time, the Cory Booker administration?
No, to see the CBA came in line with the Lionsgate Studios.
Okay,
Now,
so that's
right,
during this administration.
this administration,
Okay, okay.
yeah, I,
The
yeah,
Cat Council. Okay,
right. So
got it.
basically, I've been around, from, before Cory Booker, but you
Okay.
know, I've been in politics. I'm not new to this. I'm true to it. Right? I'm true to this
Okay.
thing they call politics, especially when it concerns a predominantly a senior and a disabled area of Newark that's mostly forgotten. It's
Mm,
forgotten when things need to be done to these buildings. That's they're, even though their roofs are replaced, they're still having leakage of water. So
mm-hmm.
back to the CBA. I have to remind myself to stay on track here. There's so many things going on, but with the CBA is a very interesting thing that um, the if you go back and look at what the Lionsgate proposed, it didn't
Mm-hmm.
propose anything for the immediate impacted area, but what it did was it was said that 300,000 basically was allotted for nonprofit entities that was
Three
in
hundred
within.
thousand dollars.
Yes,
Oh, okay. Wow. All right.
right. Basically, I mean,
But that's nothing. But okay,
that,
like,
that that's actually you can't even buy a house with that now,
right.
but
And that's
that's
what they
that's
were
what was
gonna
given.
give the
That's
nonprofits.
that's
That
that's
was
what they.
in. That's what Lionsgate wanted to give to North
Yes,
nonprofits.
yes, and that was supposed to be split between like maybe 10 or more nonprofit
Wow.
entities within the South Ward, or
Okay. You froze.
uh,
Ah.
it would still say that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I think it needs to be scrutinized.
Okay.
Receives federal funds in any capacity. They have to make accommodations, right? It's part of a 1931, I believe it's 1931 act. So I'm not too sure. I got to be reading the paperwork, but
Okay, you froze. I don't know if you can hear me, Mr. Jedi. All right. We lost Mr.
okay.
Jedi. Can
Hello.
you can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, your phone froze
Okay.
and we didn't get that last bit. But you were talking about the community benefits agreement that you drafted. It took you 5 months and it's 36 pages.
46.
Oh, I'm sorry. My apology. 46 pages. Can we put that in the comments so people can read it, or is it a private document?
Well, that document was shared with the organizations that were supposed to be in line with, as a barrier between the Lionsgate Studios, the agencies,
Uh-huh.
acting, as a partner in a partnership with Dayton Street or DCAP and the District 48 and 49. But
Okay.
and nowhere in that contract, I believe there isn't even a mention of either community, 48 or 49, and I'm just going by the districts. So you know
So
That's another
basically,
reason I'm running.
so okay, and that's what I was going to get to, that you're running because things are being developed without any benefit to the community in those areas of development. It's
Correct.
not that you all, it's not that I don't think any of us don't want development. We want the blight gone and the eyesores gone, but it should be done responsibly and bring a benefit.
Inclusively.
Yeah, include, very right, right, right. Because a lot of us are, like you said, not included. Even you said with the agreement, nobody brought anybody to the table.
Correct. Correct.
Wow.
So yeah, and when I prepared that document,
Mm,
I included all of Newark, but predominantly the from the impacted area on outward, right? So
okay.
if you have an impacted area, which is District 48 with where Seth Borton was, and let's you know if there's like a ripple, right? So you got the impacted area, then you will go a little bit larger, let's say a mile out, 2 miles
Mm.
out, 3 miles out, right? So
Oh, it was getting really good, and we lost you.
we okay. I wrote
We
it
lost.
for
We missed the part. The Is your phone froze, and we got the
yeah,
part. The last part we heard was the 2 miles out, and that was it.
2 miles out onward. Now,
Okay.
so what happens is with everybody being included, that wouldn't that didn't happen. That didn't happen, and so here I am. If you don't honor your agreement, if you don't honor, predominantly senior and disabled people and how that's going to impact us, then I have to
Hmm.
come out and fight. And so
Okay.
that's why I'm fighting. I'm the person that's fighting for Newark.
Okay.
I'm that candidate that says, okay, the buck stops here and we're going to fight. We're going to fight for a position because evidently the current administration doesn't acknowledge the South Ward residents.
Mm.
And they say Newark is on a rise, but Newark is on a rise with taxes. And with those taxes and jobs, I think we had some neighbors come and say they could not get a job unless they were a part of a union, and we don't know which union that was, but that wasn't a stipulation on Lionsgate coming to the community.
Hmm.
Now, things change, especially when it's not in writing.
Yeah.
So we as South Ward residents in the community have to come out, and we have to vote. And I want these guys to vote 3C because I've been at the meetings, I've been at the tables, I know what's going on, and we don't have time for people to come and learn what's going on. I have been talking about this since more than 3 years.
Okay.
Now everyone's echoing my sentiments. This is
Okay.
about job opportunity. This is about, if you're going to have a home in the next 5 years and what these taxes are going to
Yeah.
do,
Yeah.
right? So we have to be open minded and not so stern in our belief that just because a person is dipped in a certain color that person is true. We have to look at the value of the person and the deeds and the acts of that individual to say,
I
okay,
agree.
well, either I'm going to put my vote behind that individual or not. Right now, we are in a desperation thing. I am in a desperation thing because I I'm somewhat of a visionary.
Okay.
I can see the impact of what's going to occur. Sure, the property value is going to go up, hands down. But who has the money to for pay that bill, pay that price? if there's they say their jobs, but yet then we have to create our own.
Mm-hmm.
I ran into more people on the street or being displaced out of their homes because of LLC
Mm.
individuals that
Wow.
have some type of connection to the judicial system. And
Really?
man, listen, I had someone just off of Tracy Street, right?
Wow.
And these individuals got displaced because one judge says it's illegal to put them out because they were in a basement apartment, which was a legal basement apartment, and the guy got kicked them out because I guess I don't know the full situation, but the guy was kicked out. The judge said, "Well, you can't do that." The people went back and said that I guess what was that? That they got another judge, and the judge, whatever judge they got, displaced them.
Mm. Wow.
So I,
Interesting.
very
Now,
so I don't, this is what I was told, and this is just while I'm canvassing the neighborhoods,
mhm.
because people say, well, why are you coming out so late? It's not that I'm coming out late. It's that I'm walking the district. I want to meet the person at their door. I want to
Okay.
meet the person on the street. I want to meet the person going, taking a bus, washing
Right.
their clothes, getting gas. I want
Right.
to be right there. I want you to
That's
know that I'm there.
canvassing. That's
Right.
canvassing. Yeah. And a lot of people are bringing up Sharp James, and I remember that was one of the things that he was accessible.
Always
You can see him at the grocery store. You can see him at the gas station.
at the movie theater, everywhere.
Exactly.
Right. So
Exactly.
very accessible. And I guess what I'm saying, the sentiments about Sharp James, he's missed, and something of this magnitude, about feeling displaced, was never felt to the
Right.
magnitude that is being felt now.
Right.
And we as a people, as a community, have to be more excuse me, have to be more astute and knowledgeable and who we put in office, and
Mm-hmm.
constantly monitor who we put in office, because I feel the mechanisms for everything that we're discussing now are there, but they're not being enforced. Right? We have
Right.
mechanism, legislation for transparency. For advocacy, for you name it, it's already there. But we're not. There's no one. There's a lot of yes men or yes women in place, and they're just rubber stamping everything.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have to monitor that. You know, I I love the development. As I said, I'm an artist. So I go about and I look at the structures.
Mm-hmm.
But when the structures and the homes are selling over the price that what I'm saying they're really worth, right? We could look at a structure now and say, hey, that structure looked like it will go for about 350,000. But now that same structure is going for 500,000.
Wow.
And
Mm-hmm.
I would think that if the community really wants to know what's going on, they should call the real estate any real estate broker, and they'll tell you exactly what I'm telling you. If a structure within the vicinity that you live in and your house is, not so accommodating, but needs a little TLC,
Mm-hmm.
even though it needs a little TLC, it's still going to be, it's still worth more than you think it is because
Okay.
of all of the development. Sure,
Okay.
it may look good, but after you sell that property, and let's say some of us have grandchildren, right? And for those grandchildren, everyone, a lot of people purchase their homes and want to leave their property to one of their descendants.
Right. Okay. So how are you going to save the homeowners and help them do that?
Well, to save the homeowners, everybody have to basically wake up and let's, what I'm saying, come to the table. Sure, I've written something, some type of documentation to say to safeguard, right?
Mm-hmm.
Newark itself. That's what I do. I sit back and think of things, resolutions. I don't
Mm-hmm.
wait until that moment. My mind is always moving. That's just how my mind works. Uh,
Okay.
and as far as saving the community, yeah, I have a package put together, but unfortunately, I'm gonna have to sell the package because you
Oh,
know, yeah, I'm gonna have to sell it. Um,
why? Give it to us for free. I'm about to give out a free business plan.
I would love to do that, but when I say I could, when I say I put together a CBA, and you know what the CBA is actually worth?
Oh, how much?
$4.1 million
Really?
that I furnished to the city of Newark, and they took my document, they gutted my document, and they're using my document.
Mm.
So I got to sit back and see exactly what's going on. So as far as me putting any more literature out there, I mean, I think I'm very influential. I got half the city cleaning up now.
Oh yeah,
So
I like this. I like this. I hope they keep going.
oh yeah, I'm pretty sure they will.
You were definitely
People
a catalyst.
that I've been that catalyst. So I'm watching the verbiage of everyone speaking, and they seem to align with what I've been saying. We need some legislation as far as development. When development is at the table,
Mm-hmm.
there should be no way they should be able to conclude like the constituents of that district is not included,
Right.
right?
Right.
So another one of my things that I want to put in legislation.
Okay. Now, what are other ways you think the city could have done to include everyone? Because everyone has different schedules, different communication styles. How do you get? How do you think the city should go about it in keeping everybody on the same page with this development coming in and what's not being offered and how the community can get involved to push for benefits.
For benefits agreement regarding any development that's going on within their
Right.
immediate district or
Right,
area.
because you said your area was excluded.
We were excluded. What I'm saying, originally we were written into the community benefits agreement as well as the South Ward, and the rest of Newark,
Uh-huh.
as it reverberated outward, from the immediate areas on outward. Um, so the only thing is that, like I said before, the mechanisms are there,
Uh-huh.
but they're not enforced. And if it
Okay.
doesn't matter, it's got to. It doesn't matter at this point that they they did not include us because everything is going to go from there. But what matters, as we move forward, is that we make sure that transparency, that advocacy, and that legislation stand. But with that, we have to come to everybody has to be at the table, when this thing is put in practice. And in order
Okay.
for that to happen, everybody has to make a decision come May 12th
Okay.
on rather they want the current administration to actually lead them, or they need a new regime, a new team, a new person or candidate that will advocate for them.
Okay.
And right now we have a number of candidates. I've never seen it to this magnitude where I don't know, it's like what, 21 people, 22 people?
I think about, yeah, somewhere around that area.
Right. That's a lot of people. Like I've been here since the 70s, and maybe one or two people ran for mayor, and
Hmm. Okay. You are frozen again. Let's see. Hello. Eden Rivera says residents' voices need to matter and be taken seriously on all
say that
decisions.
again. I lost you.
Eden,
My phone went in
oh,
and out.
okay. Eden left us a comment. He said that residents' voices need to matter and be taken seriously on all decisions.
Of course,
So,
of
okay.
course. But
So,
what I
as
was
a
saying,
councilman, what is your mission coming in?
my mission coming is to make sure our voices are heard,
Okay.
and I'm speaking on behalf of the South Ward at this time. And I've been about every place in the South Ward to make sure that I hear their concerns. And what I've done is I have my card and that I presented a business card to
Mm-hmm.
ensure that they can call me directly. I don't know
Okay.
who does that, but that number hasn't changed, 973-855-2358.
Okay.
So they can make sure that I'm always transparent, and ready, to respond to their needs. If I can do it, it's done. If I can't, I'll
Mm-hmm.
have, I'll get in contact with somebody that can to see if we can resolve that matter expeditiously. I like to work. I like to watch the Chinese work and build bridges and buildings and roads and all types of structures. They don't take a long time.
Okay. I'll take a sip right here. And
Yeah,
okay, you went off again. Froze.
yeah, I know.
You
Yeah,
back? You back? Okay.
yeah, I'm back. My apologies. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It's just a connection. So, like I said, I like to see the Chinese doing, and
Okay.
wow.
Yeah, your connection. We lost you again.
Yeah, I guess it's getting that good. I like I said, we need to emulate their ideology. They don't
Whose
need
ideology?
the Chinese,
Oh,
because
okay. What?
when they need to get things done, they do it and it's done. It shouldn't take a whole 4 years to do something you say you want to do within that term. You should be able to get in there, hammer it out. I don't care how long it takes, but 4 to 6 months is my time frame.
Okay.
We need the
Now,
area clean. Let's clean it.
okay. So now, do you believe in term limits?
Of course, I'm only looking to do one.
Oh, wow. So you already have your plan mapped out, ready to go.
I have my plan. I have my team. Everybody's ready and set to go.
Wow. That's impressive because a lot of people don't plan out at all. It's just they get in there and we're supposed to wait for them to learn on the job. And I've heard other people who are deeply involved in politics say stuff like that too, like, oh, it's okay if they don't know. And I'm like, do you understand how detrimental that is to us? That's like me when I was in college, I mapped out my whole 4 years and I made adjustments as I went along, but I had a plan for a whole 4 years. How I
Mhm.
was going to do it, how many courses I was going to take, and so on. And I'm like, being a council person and a mayor is big, like serious. And for them not to have a 100-day plan or a 4-year plan, like you mentioned, I'm flabbergasted. But everybody, most people, you're the first person who's actually like talked about long range planning and not just the here and now. Because what happens when we live 4 years later?
Well, the thing is, I believe in 6 P's.
Okay.
Proper planning prevents piss poor performance.
Mm,
So we put a
I
plan
like that.
together, and you know what I'm saying, we adjust as needed.
Mm-hmm.
But we put something in place. Right now, the South Ward, in my eyes, is already structured to go,
Uh-huh.
and oh, excuse me, it's already structured for me to go. You know, put my plan in place and proceed as diligently as possible. Because even now, you know, I'll give you one. You know, and probably others will probably still start talking about this. Anytime there are things in place or deals made,
Mm-hmm.
you have to abide by those deals. And if those deals are not kept in line, right, as promised, then
Mm-hmm.
those deals are snatched back. So that's one of the things I'll be looking at. And so for the people that will entrust me to do that, you know, that's 3C on Tuesday, because
Okay.
I'm you're hearing this first from me, and it makes sense. If you don't hold the deal, and as you struck with a previous administration, and you didn't cross the T or dot an I,
Right.
it's getting snatched back.
Yeah. I know how that goes. We have someone in the comments. Mustafa Bey says, "What are you going to do to help seniors live better in the senior buildings on Evergreen Avenue and Ludlow, Kretschmer? Uh, where you're from is from Dayton Street. He's from Dayton Street as well, and the buildings are horrible.
I just spoke on those buildings, and I absolutely agree. I hear the
Elevator's not working. I'm sorry to
look.
interject, but the
Okay,
elevator
okay.
people are in wheelchairs on top floors and they can't come outside on a beautiful day because the elevators are broken.
I'm waiting on you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I just had to throw that in there.
Yeah, I know all about it. I live down here with them. I know
Mm,
all about it. The only thing I have to say about that is that's where you have your transparency, Mustafa Bey, and you know that's why your HUD money that's supposed to accommodate those buildings, you know, yearly, the federal monies are included for those properties to be top notch. So
mm-hmm.
as for where that money is going, that's another thing that, you know what I'm saying, we have to check into, and I know how to check into it. So if my seniors and my disabled, you know, if they would do me the honor and going out there to push that button for 3C on
Mm-hmm.
Tuesday, they want to live better. I want to live better. I want to know that they're living better. I want to know that, you know what I'm saying, we have some type of camaraderie with our police stations. I want to know that the emergency service can go through Weekway Park. I want to know that they are safe. I want to I want to make sure and follow up and put what I'm saying, my attendees in place to say, okay, I got these people speaking on certain matters, and these matters need to be adjusted quickly. Like as I said, I like what the Chinese are doing. If there is a problem, they resolve that problem. They don't wait a whole year or 6 months to resolve the matter. They on it, right? And so we as a community have to be collective in our ideals, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so as far as being safe, as having elevators, having rules, and making sure there's no defecation in their stairwells. I've been there. I've
Right.
been around here for a long time, probably way before Mr. Mustafa was born. I've seen it. I've seen it so much to the point where I don't need to see it. I know what's going on. I'm
Mm-hmm.
I'm there, even though when you don't see me, I'm in the shadows. I'm always asking questions.
Wow. Wow. You probably knew my grandmother too. What?
What building? What name?
Building 6, Miss Moss.
Miss Moss, all the way in the back.
318
318 Moss,
Dayton Street.
Dayton 318. That's by the school.
It's further up. The last building. It's the last build. It was the last building at the Dayton and Ludlow
Right, right, right,
intersection.
right, right. I did, what I'm saying, with there was a hot dog truck out there. It used to be a blue hot dog truck, what I'm saying, where
Yes.
we got candy. Yeah,
Yes.
Miss Moss, Miss Green, Miss Moss, Miss Green, and some other older ladies. I think they were in a PTA or something. But they,
Yeah.
what I'm saying, they had a strong organization back then. But I was a little guy.
Absolutely.
But I recall the names.
Yep. Yeah, that was my grandmother.
Yeah. Yeah, me
And
and Alonzo, Alonzo's younger than I, but me and his grandmother, Miss Gray, she was an 839, right there
okay.
what Mr. Bay is talking about. That and Mr. Bay, I do recall you,
Mr.
right?
Bay. I think
Right.
Mr.
Look,
Bay
look.
was in building 2, right?
I'm not sure where he was, but Mr. Bay, as I recall, he's younger. Um, he Mustafa Bay. Nah, you know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying. I recall a lot of people, you know. But I've been there, and
Right.
I'm not just one just showing up and say, vote for me. No, I'm saying vote for me because I've been there for us, and I've
Right.
been in the shadows
Okay.
for us. Right?
All
I've
right.
been fight. I've been fighting. I've been at the table with Port Authority. I've been at the table with Transit. I've been at the table with a number of organizations before they were started. You know,
Mhm.
and when they got started, I was there. So for the newcomers that don't know me, you are a newcomer, but it's
Okay.
okay. I've been there and I'm
Okay.
still working for us. Whether I make it or not, I'm going to still be working for us.
Oh, okay. See, I haven't heard other candidates talk about what they're going to do after the election if they don't get in. But I know some of them I'll be doing a live stream because some of them are going to disappear. I've seen this before, and it's going to be people that consistently do the work because they were doing it before.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, like I said, I've been out here, you know, there's people in place that could really tell you, hey, like, listen, nah, Jedi's been there, every for more than 20 plus years, for more than 30 years. They can tell
uh-huh,
you, right? I've been there before. I've watched uh the current mayor, come down here to solicit us, for his position for Southward Councilman.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And he was my man too.
Oh wow.
he was
Okay.
I say he was my man because we both like the color orange, right? And I believe there was a mutual friend that had a gentleman's attire on
Mm-hmm.
Bergen Street. But I went to the place, and there was this orange shirt, right?
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful orange shirt. I don't know where it went, but orange is my color. And
Okay.
I think Mr. Baraka picked it out, and I had picked it out. And I think he picked the last one. I said, "Come on, man." And he let me have the shirt. He was like, "All right, I give it up." I said, "All right, thanks, man." And he was my man then. And,
Wow.
I always I always cherished that moment because what I'm saying, he gave me something he dearly wanted, and I was like, "Yo, man,
That's nice.
listen, I dig that." But now, it's still about the community, where the community is going in the next
Right.
5 years, what's going to happen, how does it look, and that diversity, and
Right.
are we abiding by the law, by the books? And if
Okay.
we're not, that had, what I'm saying, it's of great concern to me. So if it concerns me and other interested
Mm-hmm.
parties that, hey, listen, we live in Newark, we love Newark, and what I'm saying, we want the best. And right now, what I'm saying, uh we getting buildings put up. They look good,
Right.
but are they accommodating? But they might accommodate another crowd of people where they can afford the high price. We
Mm-hmm.
can't afford that high price.
Okay. Someone has a question. Will says, "What will you do to address crime?"
Could you define that question? What will I do to address crime? Crime is addressed every day. Like, you do a crime, you get locked up. But you know what I'm saying? My crime right now is the outlook. Your outlook, and I keep telling people, your outlook, what you see when you come out of your doorway, that affects your life. That garbage that's in front of your house, if somebody
Mm-hmm.
done drove by your house and threw out their McDonald's, their White Castle, their Burger King, or whatever, splashed off in front of where you live, or on your car tire, that affects your day.
Yeah.
That affects that. What I'm saying? It's a psychological, I guess, a psychological war that we have on ourselves, and that's the first thing we should be addressing. That's one of our first line of defenses for crime and everything. When you see a movie, and the first thing they show an impoverished neighborhood, they show the garbage and debris,
Wow. That's
right?
deep. That's deep. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's it. So what you ask me? Well, why you clean up Dayton Street, and why you clean up all them places, and you don't look for nobody to acknowledge you? Because I want my neighbors to acknowledge me. That means more. When they kids
Right.
come out with a happy face, when they go into their homes and knowing they ain't got to deal with rats and rodents, right? Because if I leave the bags there with food in it, right? So
Mm-hmm.
them, you bring on the rats, and the next
Right.
thing you know, you got a rat in your house.
Yeah.
Yeah, but my community don't complain about rats over here. You know why? I get
Why?
up the garbage. I get
Mm-hmm.
it up. They don't have to get it up. I would like them to get it up, but they don't get it up. I get it up, and it's
So,
over a mile long.
okay. Now, what do you say to people who are like, I didn't put it there. I don't have the time to keep cleaning up after people. They should know better than to throw trash down where they live or where someone else's live. Um, so what do you say to that? Because you're going, I would consider going above and beyond. and I get what you're saying, but I also understand those folks too who want it, who want the litter bugs to be held accountable.
Of course, accountability. You know what I'm saying? They need to, as far as accountability aspect, I mean, the thing is, Newark doesn't have to be deprived of funds,
Mm-hmm.
right? And from the first hit from somebody throwing the debris out their car window as they traverse the neighborhoods, $1,000 hit, $2,000 the next time. But you know what I'm saying, you give them, you know what I'm saying, maybe a year or two, with that $1,000 hit, to actually clean, right?
Okay, community service
Right.
and oh,
So
okay,
I mean,
okay.
you do that, but I guarantee you, Nuke will be immaculate,
Oh yeah,
right?
I
From the
agree. I
illegal
agree.
dumping. Listen. I when I'm doing this thing, and I want to answer all. I don't want to get too caught up in the debris removal, but that's the first part of crime.
Okay.
That's the first part of crime. And as far as I'm saying, the others committing crime out there, you got to ask yourself, why is crime being created? Right? When
Okay.
I was coming up, we had nothing.
Right.
We
Okay.
had nothing, and they took more from us because the recreational things disappeared.
Right.
Right? So now you ask me about crime. Crime happens when someone gets something more disproportionately than the other. When someone doesn't have or have the means to have, that's when crime starts. When a
Okay.
misunderstanding occurs, that's when crime starts. So we're more in a psychological warfare amongst ourselves. And
Okay.
we have to come to the table and acknowledge that. Stop pointing the fingers at others. I had a whole community of let's say 50 guys over here.
Mm-hmm.
All of them did very well. All of them wound up buying homes. You know why?
Okay.
I
Why?
bought my first home when I was 23. They seen
Mm.
that and emulated what they seen.
Okay.
They were afforded the opportunity to see how or ask questions why. Right
Right.
now, you have a bunch of children raising children, and that's one of
I
the
agree with
problems.
that. I agree with that.
So, hey, I mean, to quell the crime, you know what I'm saying? Crime, you got more. It seems like you have more crime happening from the top than you do the bottom.
And Jamal Little says then that's where city sanitation and code enforcement should be held responsible for doing their jobs. To your point.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
but you know what I'm saying? From yeah, I mean, definitely. But at the same time, these, and I'm not going to give any excuse to DPW, but I am going to say that, they deserve to be paid well
I agree.
because that's another line of defense. Right now, we got something, hanker virus or something going on,
Yes,
COVID
answer
virus went
virus.
on,
Yes.
but you got to understand these guys deal with some things, walking in some, looking in some people's homes, with all types of how do you say, mold, and they can get sick, right? They pick up the
Right.
garbage, they can get sick, but they deserve to be paid well. And
And health benefits too.
right. These are the things, people, what I'm saying, overlooked. But we have to reward our people that's going in the first line of defense. And these people are definitely should be taken care of. But he's absolutely right. I hope I answered your questions, because I go off on
Yes.
a tangent.
No, you're fine. We're getting down to the four. We got 4 minutes left. So I'm going to give you the floor to say what you need to say to let us know any more about your campaign that we didn't cover, and just at the end give us your ballot position.
Okay. I want to give you my ballot position first, which is
Okay.
3C. 3C. That's a very good position for the South Ward. Uh, and as far as covering, I have at least touched your neighborhood, touch your door, or touch your hand. Because
Hmm.
I view everyone in the South Ward and Newark, and Newark especially. You're very important to me. You're very important in this process that we call life. And I'm your
Hmm.
neighbor. I'm your neighbor that care about you, that care about your kids, that care about your mother and your seniors. I'm over here with most of them. And I
Okay.
have, what I'm saying, I want to lead with respect, but lead with, what I'm saying, humility to get things done, and not a long, because not a long duration of time, but a short duration of time. I'm only looking for one term, because if you're serious about what you do, you should only be in there one term, and let some other individual that cares as much as you do, with,
Hmm.
what I'm saying, not a lackluster, but to go in there with determination to move things that they
Right.
feel should be moved in the right direction for the people, by the people.
Okay. Wow. All right. Mr. Willie Jetti. That's everything. Any questions in the comments section, people? Put them up before he goes. Let's see. Let's check the comments. We have Sister Bay is watching. All right, Sister Bay. Any questions? Any comments for Mr. Willie Sinai Jedi? All right. It looks like nobody has. Oh, hold on. We have Miss Tamara Smith Brown. Sad to say, when you look at job titles, it's all about police. My daughter is a detective, fire. My nephew is a firefighter. I'm the inspector on a state level, and inspector code enforcement is overlooked. And the job is no joke. I take my job seriously, but overlooked. What's your take on that?
I thought I'd speak on that, and Miss Brown, we know each other well.
Oh, really? Okay, okay.
Yeah, 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 yeah. She had the opportunity of coming to my house for a complaint that my relative actually set me up for. Didn't want to pay his
Oh.
rent. Didn't want to pay his rent. I'm putting it on blast. But Tamara, yeah,
Whoa,
Tamara.
yeah.
Listen, I did speak on code enforcement, and I said they need to be paid well for what they do. They have to go in these people's homes, and see the place how it is, right? But
Right,
they're breathing in that substance of whatever is there. And if the people that's living there has a different way of living, that's her lungs,
right,
right? So
right.
they need to be afforded, the proper gear, to
Uh-huh.
go into these homes, but be paid properly.
Right, right.
And I just had to reiterate that fact. I
Okay,
did speak on code enforcement. I did speak on DPW because those are dear to me, and I respect them totally.
okay, okay. Jamal Little says, Master Chef says, great job. And Eden Rivera says, you are a true community leader with or without the office. I applaud you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
All right. I appreciate everyone watching. I appreciate Mr. Jedi for coming on and letting us know a little bit more about his campaign, what he's running for, what got him involved. If people want to reach out to you, do you have
Yeah, they can have
a
my direct number.
okay.
973-855-2358 is never gonna change.
Wait, 973-855.
855-2358 is never gonna change.
Okay, let me put that in the comments.
Absolute.
All right, I got it. Hold up, we got it up there.
I say
Absolutely.
South Ward, let's go. Let's go, South
Okay.
Ward.
All right, South Ward, you heard it on Kermit Exposure. Thank you for joining. Peace, and I will see you all later.